In this video, I'm going to explain the concept for my next guitar building project. This is going to be a really interesting build. I like to think that all my guitar building projects are interesting. But like all my projects that I shoot here on YouTube, it's very different than anything else I've ever done before. So in order to explain it, we're going to jump on the computer and I'm going to kind of lay out the whole project and what is going to be achieved, or what I'm going to attempt to achieve when I build this guitar. So let's get started. Okay, so what you see on the screen is the basic design of the body. And this is obviously going to be a single cutaway, sort of a Telecaster style shape. But it's going to have two humbuckers, a fixed hip shot bridge. Then I'll have provisions for a volume pot, a tone pot, and then a three-way switch. And of course the jack will be on the side on the lower bout. And for the neck, it's essentially a 3x3 tuner configuration. I do this all the time. The headstock will be at about a 10-degree angle. That's the angle I like to make for my headstocks. It's not too extreme, and I think it looks the best. But then I've got lines which indicate the position of the truss rod in the center of the neck. And then there are two lines on either side of the truss rod, which will be slots that will hold carbon fiber reinforcement strips. And I've been installing those in all of my necks lately. It's a great way to strengthen and stiffen the neck. That way I'm not really forced to use a specific grain orientation for the wood that I'm going to be using for the neck. In the past, before I was using carbon fiber, I like to use quarter sawn wood, but with the carbon fiber reinforcement strips, that's not really as important. So I can source really any sort of wood with any kind of grain configuration. And as you probably are well aware, the most common grain configuration is flat sawn wood. So I'll probably use maple for this. Like I said, it can be flat sawn. I can even use figured maple if I find a nice enough piece for that. And this is going to be a set-in neck. So it'll be glued into the body instead of being bolted in. Hey guys, if you're enjoying this video, I would encourage you to stop what you're doing right now and click that thumbs up button down below. It doesn't cost you anything and it really helps to support my channel. But if you want to take your support to the next level, you can click the thanks button and leave a tip in the amount that you think is fair. Also, you can click the join button and become a member of my channel. And as a member, you'll have access to exclusive members-only content, which are videos just like the one you're watching, but with a lot more detail, a lot more tips and tricks, and all kinds of guitar building secrets. And best of all, no ads. Now let's get back to the video. Now, as far as the fretboard is concerned, what I'm going to be doing is, this is kind of where I'm going to bring a theme to the guitar. And you'll see that on this fretboard design here. And this is going to be a 25.5-inch scale length fretboard. It's going to have 24 frets. Then for fret marker dots, I'm going to use a stylized crocodile tooth. And then at the 12th fret position, I will inlay a crocodile. Why a crocodile? Well, first of all, I've always thought that crocodiles are cool looking animals. And I thought it would be kind of an interesting theme to apply to this guitar. But where it really got started was for the body. What I've decided to do is I wanted to put a texture on the top surface of this guitar. First of all, it's going to have a carved top shape, sort of similar to a PRS guitar or like a Gibson Les Paul. It'll have that kind of carved shape to it. So I wanted to apply a texture to it. Now, I've done texture designs in the past on guitars, but for this one I wanted to do something more organic or more natural. And one of the textures that occurred to me was an alligator skin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to carve an alligator skin texture into this top of this guitar, into the top of the body. And once I had decided to do that, that's kind of where I came up with the idea of inlaying that 12th fret with the crocodile shape. So that's kind of what I'm thinking for this guitar. And I think that having that crocodile texture is going to make this kind of a unique design. And I know that others folks have done like snakeskin, and I think there's some that have done alligator and crocodile textures before. But then what I also plan to do is, once I've carved that shape and that texture into the top surface of the guitar body, is I'm going to leaf it. And what that means is I'm going to apply a silver leaf to just the top surface of the guitar's body, so that crocodile texture will be silver leafed. But then I'm going to take it a step further, and I'm going to apply a chemical which is going to react with the silver leaf and turn it into a variety of vivid colors: blues, greens, and purples, maybe some reds. Just depends on how the chemicals react. But that's going to give this sort of a unique, almost like a patina to the surface of the texture. So it's going to look really interesting. And I know I can visualize it in my mind's eye, but who knows exactly how it's going to turn out. We'll just have to wait and see. So that's kind of what the plan is for this next guitar build. All right, guys, well, that's a quick overview of what this project is going to involve, and I plan to get started on it right away. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video, found it interesting, and if so, give it a thumbs up like I always ask you to do. It's free of charge and it helps to support the channel. And of course, if you want to take your support to the next level, you can do some of the things I mentioned earlier in the video. And until the next episode, as always, take care, stay safe, and I hope you'll be back for more of these guitar building videos.